Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, you've likely heard by now that we've experienced the worst quarter ever, as it's listed, since they've been tracking the contraction of an economy all the way back to 1947. This was a CNN business article. The U.S. economy contracted 32.9% from April through June, its worst drop on record, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. This is the first recession, folks, we've experienced now in 11 years, coming out of this longest bull run that we've been warning people about, wiping out 5 years of economic gains in just a few months. But this is not being called any ordinary recession because of the public health crisis as well as the economic crisis combined has been unprecedented. And many of you baby boomers and retirees that we've talked to were worried before the pandemic of where the economy was going, how long the market would go before it would obviously drop, and of course, rising taxes with our national deficit. Sadly, we have now the biggest drop in jobs on record going back 80 years of tracking. In fact, the country's still down over 15 million jobs since February, folks, 15 million people out of work. Consumer spending, which I talk about a lot, right? That's the driver of obviously keeping companies profitable so that stocks obviously stay valuable. Being the biggest driver of the U.S. economy, declined at an annual rate of 34.6%, its sharpest decline on record. The pandemic has pushed the economy off a cliff, as it's being referenced in this article. The second quarter GDP drop was nearly 4 times worse during the peak of the financial crisis, folks, when it dropped 8.4%. So think about that. Back in the fourth quarter of 2008, we contracted 8.4%. This second quarter of 2020, we contracted almost 33%. Now, they're claiming that this recovery won't come easily, but I want to give you some good news. See, Washington, the not good news, has deployed trillions of dollars in monetary and fiscal stimulus, which I've been talking about regularly on Hidden Wealth, to help the country through this recession. Economists predict that the current third quarter of the year could witness a sharp upswing. In fact, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York is predicting an annualized 13.3% jump for this next quarter. And while that's good news, it does not mean that the crisis is over. We've got a very contentious election year, clearly one going to be, if not arguably, the most contentious election in our country's history. And we've got Congress now trying to pass 2 different bills, and they're $2 trillion apart. Well, folks, learn how you can recession-proof your retirement, market correction with tax protection. I'm going to be teaching this coming Tuesday. It's my wealth protection webinar where I'll talk to you about how to position yourself to lower your risk, sometimes eliminate your risk to the downside, increase or maximize an unlimited opportunity to the upside, and learn how you can be a tax-efficient retiree, folks. Go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com and register. Although it's a complimentary educational webinar, it's predominantly for those of you listening that are trying to transition soon to retirement, or those of you that are trying to find a safer passage through retirement, predominantly those that have saved. Either you're a high income earner, so you're paying a lot of tax, or you're somebody that saved a lot of money in tax deferred, or the predominant share of your retirement in tax deferred, say 300,000 or more. And you are the Biden and the Bernie behind Biden tax bonanza target that they're obviously looking for. And you can protect yourself. But with all this chaos of what's going to be changing, learn how you can have upside without downside. Learn how you can drastically reduce your risk. I think of clients that we just met with, that we were able to increase their return by 20%, decrease their risk by 30% on a portion of their retirement. At the same time, 40% of their retirement, we were able to give unlimited upside to with absolutely zero downside to help take care of their budgeting, to live their lifestyle, to retain it and sustain it. And these folks now have an extra $2,000 a month because of the tax savings and getting rid of the government gotchas that I want to teach you this Tuesday. Spaces fill up quickly. Be sure to register for the time zone that best fits you. Learn how to recession-proof your retirement, market correction with tax protection. The time is now, folks, to protect your money in 2020. Retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com.